understand shooting is a lot harder this year, and I know a lot of people are struggling with this. The reason why you're struggling is because you're not taking advantage of the fading. Fading is the best way to score in this game. In the mid-range, in my opinion, it is way easier to time and green a dribble pull-up than a standing still mid-range jump shot. And as far as threes, you could make the argument that if you have Shifty Shooter on at least Hall of Fame, that dribble pull-up threes are the same difficulty as standstill threes. I am currently shooting 53.3% from three with a record of 97-2. Now, the 53% seems bad, and it is compared to 2K24, because on 24 I was shooting about 68% from three. But if we go to the Proving Grounds leaderboards, let's take a look at what the top 10 players in each category are shooting. I'm sorry, the top 14, only 2 of them are shooting over 50%, and I'm gonna assume they are spot ups and not the point guard. Onto the 3-on-3, none of them are shooting over 50%. Onto the 2-on-2, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 14 are shooting over 50%, but they are barely over 50%. And lastly, for the ones, I'm gonna assume most of these are post-scorer type slashing builds, so I'm not expecting anything crazy, and none of them are over 50%. The whole point of that is not to say that I'm a better shooter than them, especially because Proving Grounds is a slightly higher difficulty, so maybe I'd be shooting around 49 to 50% in there, but the whole point of that is to just prove to you guys that shooting is a lot harder this year. Way harder than any other 2K, which means we need to take advantage of what is the easiest, which is shooting these dribble pull-ups, and I highly recommend we take advantage of them, specifically in the mid-range. I'm gonna give you guys the 3 best dribble pull-ups in this game and explain why and what are the pros and cons of each one, and I have a pretty nice gameplay with no cuts or edits so you can see how I shoot live in a game. And a huge thing about being a good shooter this year is making sure you have a good jump shot, which is why I highly recommend to use NBA 2K Lab. They test out all of the best jump shots in this game and they upload them to their website. You just go to NBA2KLab.com, go to premium, go to custom jump shots, and they're gonna give you the make percentage, the green percentage, the green windows, the speed to the jump shot, all the best jump shots in the game. Use code DIRK for 20% off. It's only a few dollars a month, and I'll leave the link in the description. All right, let's get into the gameplay. Here it is. I'm not gonna edit anything out. All I'm gonna do is fast forward so you don't have to wait for the inbounds. All right, our goal here is to go for a flawless game as a guard. That is obviously very, very hard for guards this year because all of our shot timings are different on everything unless it is all catch and shoot. So I had to hit my teammate right here. He was too wide open. I had to give him the ball. But now it is my time to cook. And bro, this game, when I'm locked in and when I'm on, this game to me is genuinely easy. Like, it's easy and I love it. Like, bro, that is green. Anytime you see me shoot a dribble pull-up, just know that you don't even have to look at the screen. You just have to close your eyes and trust me that it is green. And I'm just cooking up around the screen, double behind the back. You know the vibes. Easy front fade right there. You can't contest it. You have to jump before me or you're not getting the contest. And that's another thing about these midi fades. You have to jump prior. And I thought I wasn't going to be open right there, so I like hesitated for a bit. That's on me, but we still got the standstill midi down. Actually, a little surprised I made that. And bro, come on. Now that I'm feeling it, now that I'm locked, 5 for 5 already, this game's about to be over. When I'm locked and dialed, bro, and you're putting in the midi fades, you literally can't, come on, you can't guard me. Come on, I'm telling y'all, you gotta throw them in. It's like the game won't let you, bro, and that's green. That's green, and I'll finish this rant in a minute. But can I go 8 for 8? Can I go 8 for 8? You know I have to shoot up some nut stuff. I can't end it with a normal shot, right? I gotta shoot some nut stuff. So here we go, snatch back from deep, and let's go. I bricked. I sold the flawless gameplay. Probably the first one ever for a guard on NBA 2K25, and I got too cocky. So we're gonna play VIP Harden here. We're gonna have to guard this hooper on defense. You know, he's looking, what a good shot. And now we can end the game. And I'm very upset, so you know, I'm just gonna dunk the ball, get off the court. To continue on that little rant I was going on, it seems like the game will not allow you to like hit 3 standstill jump shots in a row. And I know there's those few people, and there are some people that have hit 3 jump shots in a row. It's like a joke that's going around on Twitter to please post the clip if you've hit 3 jump shots in a row without a midi fade or a dunk or anything in between. So use that as a tip, and that's why I think that's why I think these midi fades are so important, is because like 2K doesn't want you just to like spam threes. Like they want you to switch it up and go to the basket, get an assist, get a layup, get a midi fade, get a dunk. It's like they don't want you to spam the same thing and you will get penalized for it. This is not scientifically proven. It's just like, it's what's the hot topic right now on Twitter. And I actually agree that 2K does not want you to green a specific amount of the same type of shots in a row. Enough with the yapping. Let's get into the 3 dribble pull-ups. Drop a like if you haven't already. And if you are not subscribed, I highly recommend you do that. I don't know why you wouldn't want to get better at the game, and I don't know why you wouldn't want to watch good content, but hey, to each their own. Let's get into the 3 dribble pull-ups, and the first one we're going to go over is Pro 2. Ever since I went on that little rant, you have been looking at the Pro 2 dribble pull-up. This is the quickest one, in my opinion, of the 3. It has the best front fade by far, like a very, very elite front fade if you are a 5s player. If you are a 5s player, I definitely recommend using this fade. And even if you're playing 2s or 3s, you can use this fade as well. And that goes with every fade in this video, but I do think some are better in other game modes compared to others. But this one, bro, the front fade, it's just so quick and it is so unexpected. Like, just look at these front fade clips. Like, you're not gonna even know I'm shooting the basketball, bro. Like, it's just super glitchy, as you guys are seeing in these clips. Now, you guys might be asking yourself, Dirk, why is a front fade important on the 2s? You know, like, you really don't ever have to do it. That is true, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a transparent, honest guy. Half of those front fade clips were by accident because for some reason the angle of the front fades is very close to the normal fade, like the normal fade animation that you get. And with the next fade that we get into, you're gonna see why having a good front fade is important, because the front fade on the next one is terrible. So I love Pro 2. Let's get into the next dribble pull-up, which is normal 2. And this one, as you can see, creates a ton of space, specifically on the left side, and it is literally impossible to get a contest. You go flying every time you fade left, and it has a good fade going right as well. The 2 pros of this fade is the left side creates a ton of space, the right side creates pretty decent space as well, and the right side is very easy to time. The con is the left side sometimes creates too much space and it'll bring you too far back, so it is harder to make, and I feel like the green window on the left side is a little smaller than the right side, and the front fade, as you can see, is just terrible. I personally don't like using this fade because I accidentally all the time do the front fade, and it just screws me up and I literally miss it almost every time. But this fade just creates so much space and it's so hard to contest, which is why, in my opinion, it is still a top 3 fade in the game, especially on big men, bro. Oh my gosh, you should see the 7-1 point center build I made. I'll leave that link in the description. The fade on that, the dude jumps like 30 feet in the air. Now, this is important. I forgot to mention this. I am only using an 83 mid-range on this build, and in all these clips, I have my shifty shooter on Hall of Fame, but that's only because I am using the +1 to get it from gold to Hoff. If you have a higher mid-range, I would probably say like 87 and up, or maybe like a 90 and up, this green window will probably expand and be easier to make, which would make this a very good fade to use considering it is almost impossible to contest it. You see, this is why I always recommend watching my videos all the way through, because my personal favorite fade, and the fade that I am using right now, is this fade, which is the Cam Thomas fade. Now, I will say Pro 2 is very, very close to this, so I would probably try out those 2, but if you have the higher midi, I definitely would recommend trying out normal 2 as well. But this fade, I personally think it is just the easiest to time, especially on the right, bro. I feel literally unguardable, unstoppable every time I go to the right, because the green window or something, I don't know what it is just enormous. And I would honestly say when I am going right with this fade, I'm shooting like 80%, bro. Like, it is ridiculous. I would say on the left, it's kind of closer to the 60 range because the green window is a little smaller in my opinion. But in the left corner, for some reason, I feel like I can see the visual cue a lot better. And land in the left corner with this fade, I feel like it is chicken. It's like almost just as good as I am when I'm going right with this fade. But the back fade, bro, the back fade on this, oh my gosh, it is like broken. You can do it from 3, like it is broken. The back fade is crazy good, and how you do that is pretty much you just run backwards. Like you run backwards at an angle and you shoot your dribble pull-up. As for the front fades, they definitely are not as bad as a normal 2. They're not as good as Pro 2, but they are still very, very good in my opinion. I feel like Pro 2 has the best front fade in the game, and this is very close behind it. Either way, you can't go wrong with any of these fades. If you want the build used in this video, it's on screen. I hope this helped you guys out. I really do. Drop a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Have a good day. Go out.